Reiki Show, Series 1, Episode 3. Stand by, and countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host. Let's hear it from Matthew Lloyd. Thank you, hello and welcome. I'm your host, Matt Lloyd, and welcome to Series 1, Episode 3 of Reiki, The True Story. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this or any of our other shows, shame on you. Only joking. But seriously, you can watch all the previous episodes of this show, along with any trailers and episodes of our other shows, on our YouTube channel at Club Map Productions, or on our website, where any accompanying material for the shows and the scripts can be downloaded at clubmap.org. That's www.clubmapproductions.org. Here you can also get to see our daily PR blog updates and behind the scenes footage. Now, before I continue with the show, for those of you who are familiar with Club Map Productions, you'll know that recently we've been recruiting for a trainee resident DJ. This will form the basis of our new 6th monthly show, A DJ's Journey, where we follow the trainee resident DJ from novice through to their professional status through their online training. Now, just to update you, after the original trainee DJ had to pull out for personal reasons, we shortlisted 2 candidates for the position. Unfortunately, the first candidate was self-employed and had taken on some more projects between the interview and the selection period, so wasn't able to go ahead with it. The second candidate wasn't able to take the position due to the strict training criteria set by the job centre, so unfortunately that didn't go ahead either. Luckily, the original person who was going to fill the vacancy and the man who was the inspiration behind this production company, Mike Winter, is now in a position to take up the role of trainee resident DJ. Now, due to prior commitments and pre-booked holidays, he will not start this position until August the 1st, and the first show will go out on the 15th of August and the 15th of each month after that. However, since the production company was set up, things change, and Mike has now had to relocate to Sherborne in Dorset. This means that he won't be able to host any of our other shows for us, as he's in a different county and it takes too long to get here. However, we are now setting up a second and smaller studio in Dorset, where he'll be able to record the DJ show himself. And so, as they say, on with the show. Now, for any of you who haven't seen this before, I do write the scripts for all the shows myself, but I've got memory problems, very bad memory problems, so I use an auto cue teleprompter just to remind me of the script and to prevent me from forgetting anything important, basically. Okay, so if you remember in last month's show, we looked at the roots and history timeline of Reiki, according to the pre-1999 version that was predominantly told when Reiki was brought to the West. We also looked briefly at Reiki as a philosophy and how you can incorporate it into your daily life. Now, in this show, we'll look at the slight variations between the pre-1999 version of how Reiki came about compared to the true events behind Reiki. The story of Reiki's origins, as known in the West, underwent a major transformation after 1999 due to new historical discoveries and increased access to original Japanese sources. Here's a breakdown of how the narrative changed and why. So we'll start with the pre-1999 Western Reiki origin story. Excuse me. Before 1999, the commonly taught Western version of Reiki, its origin was largely based on oral teachings from Hawaii Takatata, the Japanese-American woman who brought Reiki to the West in the late 1930s. This version emphasized Dr. Mikao Yusi was portrayed as a Christian theologian or scholar, possibly linked to the University of Chicago, seeking to understand how Jesus performed healing miracles. After years of study, he is said to have had a spiritual revelation on Mount Kurama, where he received Reiki energy after a 21-day fast and meditation retreat. Usui then began healing people and opened a healing clinic in Japan, where he eventually trained others. The lineage passed from Usui to Dr. Chuo Hashia and then to Hawaka Takata, who simplified the version and introduced it to the West. Takata taught that Reiki should be kept secret and only taught for high fees, e.g., $10,000 for a master level. This version was heavily spiritualized, vague on historical facts, and lacking in documentation. Much of the story is filtered through Takata's teaching style, which often adapted elements to appeal to Western sensibilities, especially American audiences. Now, the post 1999 historical discoveries and modern understanding. After Takata's death in 1980, Reiki remained largely as she had taught it. However, by the 1990s, several Western Reiki practitioners and researchers, notably Frank Ayajava Petter, William Lee Rand, and Bronwyn and Franz Steen, travelled to Japan and began to uncover a more factual and culturally grounded history of Reiki. These efforts accumulated around 1999 when more Japanese sources became available. Key findings that changed the narrative. 1. Mikao Usui was not a Christian theologian. Usui was actually a lay Buddhist and practitioner of 10-day Buddhism and possibly influenced by Shugando, a Japanese spiritual tradition combining Shinto, Buddhism, and mountain asceticism. He had an interest in traditional Japanese martial and spiritual practices and studied Kiko, Japanese Qigong, which includes hands-on energy work. The Reiki system has deepened Buddhist and Japanese roots. Usui's teachings were called Usui Reiki, Ryo, Usui Reiki healing method, and were influenced by Japanese energetic and meditative traditions. The term Reiki refers more broadly in Japanese to spiritual energy, and Usui's use of it was more integrated into traditional Japanese spirituality than previously believed. 3. There is a surviving organisation, Usui Reiki Waiho Gaki. The Usui Reiki Waiho Gaki, a society formed by Usui's students after his death, continued to practice Reiki in Japan quietly for decades. This group maintained more traditional forms of practice, including meditation, Riju attunement, and the original hand positions. 4. Usui had many more students than previously known. Contrary to the idea that Reiki was passed through only a few people, Usui taught over 2,000 students and about 20 became Shian teachers. Shiryo Hayashi was one of the several key students, not the sole heir. Why the stories differ. 1. Takahata's adaptation for Western audiences. Takahata modified the story to make it more understandable and acceptable to Westerners, especially Americans in the mid-20th century who might have been wary of Eastern religions. She emphasized Christian-like elements, Jesus, fasting, mountain revelation, and omitted Japanese spiritual terminology. She also added secrecy and high prices, possibly to lend Reiki to a sense of mystery and value. 2. Lack of access to Japanese sources pre-1990s. Communication between Japan and the West about Reiki was minimal, especially due to World War II and language barriers. The Usui Reiki Waiho Gaki remained largely unknown outside Japan until researchers made contact. 3. Oral tradition versus historical documentation. Western Reiki relied on oral tradition from Takahata with no documents from Usui's time. Modern researchers found tombstones, manuals, and testimonies from Japanese Reiki practitioners that corrected their earlier misconceptions. Impact of the post-1999 revelation. Western Reiki began evolving with a renewed interest in original Japanese techniques, meditation, and spiritual development. New styles of Reiki emerged, like Jikiden Reiki, direct lineage from Harashi, and Genda Reiki, which blend traditional and modern approaches. Greater emphasis now placed on Reiki as a spiritual discipline, not just a hands on healing technique. So, as you can see, the original story isn't that much different from the pre 1999 version that was around in the West until recently. Everyone has the ability to heal themselves and help others in the healing process. The universal energy flows naturally through all living beings, but stress and illness can disrupt this flow, causing energetic blockages. Reiki is a profoundly simple yet powerful hands on healing practice that helps clear these blockages, allowing energy to move freely once again throughout the body. Embracing the spirit of Reiki offers both challenge and reward, often guiding individuals on a deeper journey of spiritual growth and self discovery. This revitalizing force can reconnect you with your emotional depths, inspire creative responses to life, and empower you to become a channel for positive energy in the world. Now, for those of you who are new to Reiki or considering learning more about it, or even looking at becoming initiated into Reiki, when you're giving treatments, you may or may not feel anything at all. However, this is not to say that you don't feel anything. It is not working. Quite the opposite. When you're giving someone else a Reiki treatment, you are also receiving a Reiki treatment yourself, regardless of whether you feel anything or not. Not everyone will feel something during the Reiki treatment. When I first did my Reiki level 1, I could not feel anything at all during treatments from other students, or even whilst I was carrying out treatments on other students, or even myself. The same is with my level 2 Reiki. However, not long after my level 2 Reiki, I gave a free treatment to a man connected to the holistic centre I'd seen my private Reiki clients at. He was certainly able to feel the Reiki energy during the treatments and even commented that it was quite strong. Once I had started to see private clients on a part-time basis for Reiki, all of them reported feeling something from my Reiki treatments, even if it was just a deep sense of relaxation and peace. When I first noticed a lack of feeling anything during my Reiki treatments or whilst giving Reiki treatments to other people, I mentioned it to my Reiki master for my level 1 Reiki. She explained that it was possibly because I came at everything very scientifically, especially as at the time I was a student nurse. However, as time has gone on, I've come to my own conclusion as to why I don't feel anything. It's most likely due to the fact that I suffer from several personality disorders which were diagnosed in 2010 after I completed my level 1 and 2 Reiki, and didn't really experience emotions either. Either way, the amount of private clients I gave Reiki treatments to during the time I had my own part-time private Reiki practice, I definitely know that some form of energy is flowing through me, as most clients reported feeling something during the treatments, even if it was just a deep sense of peace and relaxation. The idea of a life force flowing through all living things has been acknowledged across cultures for thousands of years. Many complementary therapies like acupuncture and shiatsu, as well as physical and spiritual disciplines such as Tai Chi and yoga, are based on this principle. Different traditions have given it different names. In China, it's known as Qi. In Hinduism, Prana, and to the ancient Egyptians, it was called Ka. Reiki is often viewed as more than just a complementary therapy. It can also be embraced as a spiritual journey or a meaningful life path. Many people find that by restoring the body's natural energy flow, Reiki fosters a sense of openness and inner clarity. This shift can create space for expanded awareness, while also helping to release deep-seated stress and emotional pain. Reiki is believed by its practitioners to be a revitalizing energy that awakens the innate potential within each of us. This life force flows through all living things, forming a subtle yet powerful presence in the natural world. Like heat or sound waves, unseen but ever present, this energy is considered part of a universal life force that Reiki practitioners channel to promote healing and restore balance to the mind, body, and spirit. Physics teaches us that energy holds matter together and that the universe exists in a delicate balance between the two, from the tiniest atom to the largest star. Reiki recognizes no boundaries. Its energy is said to reach deep into the cells of living beings. It has been used not only to support human healing, but to also benefit animals, plants, and even the broader environment. Here's a revised, sorry, that's me, bear with me, yes, so sorry. Reiki is a unique method of healing, distinct from many other systems. Rather than targeting specific conditions or outcomes, Reiki is believed to flow intuitively to whenever it is most needed in the body or energy field. The practitioner serves as a channel to which universal life energy is drawn and transferred to the recipient. This process supports both the giver and the receiver, as the energy first moves through the practitioner, helping to clear their own energetic pathways before continuing to the person receiving the treatment. Anyone can learn to practice Reiki, but it begins with a process called attunement or initiation. This involves specific rituals guided by a Reiki master, using sacred symbols and techniques that often open the practitioner to the flow of healing energy. Through these attunements, the individual's capacity to receive and transmit universal life energy is expanded, creating a clear channel for this limitless external energy to move freely through them. While Reiki is hands-on healing practice, it involves no physical manipulation of the body, unlike therapies such as osteopathy, chiropractic, kinesiology, wolfing, massage, shiatsu, or reflexology. As a result, there is no risk of post-treatment discomfort, soreness, or injury. Reiki also requires no substances, unlike homeopathy, herbal medicine, back flower remedies, aromatherapy, or even conventional pharmaceuticals, making it a gentle and non-invasive approach. It can be used safely alongside other complementary therapies and conventional medical treatments. Now, Reiki is not tied to any religion, nor does it promote any specific belief system. People of all faiths, or not at all, can practice and benefit from it. At its core, Reiki encourages trust in oneself and in the universal flow of life. How Reiki works. Reiki is a form of energy healing that operates on the principle that a universal life force energy flows through all living things. In Reiki practice, it is believed that physical, emotional, and spiritual imbalances occur when this energy is blocked or depleted. Reiki practitioners serve as a channel for this universal energy, allowing it to flow into the recipient to help restore balance and promote healing. The process of Reiki healing. 1. Energy channeling. The practitioner gently places their hands on or just above the recipient's body. The practitioner does not use their own energy but acts as a conduit for universal life force energy. 2. Self-guiding energy. Reiki energy is thought to have its own innate intelligence. It flows to where the recipient needs it most, whether it's a physical injury, emotional stress, or spiritual disconnection. 3. Balancing chakras and the energy body. Reiki aims to clear blockages and balance the entire body's centers or chakras, which are seen as key points throughout the energy system where energy flows. 4. Relaxation and activation and natural healing. The process deeply relaxes the body, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and encourages the body's natural healing processes. Now, the 7 chakras in Reiki. In Reiki and many other spiritual systems, energy is believed to flow through 7 main chakras, each associated with physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of well-being. Here's a summary. So we have chakra, the root chakra, base of spine, colour red, element earth, associated with grounding, survival, stability. 2. Sacral chakra, below the navel, orange, water, associated with emotion, sexuality, and creativity. 3. The solar plexus, stomach area, yellow, fire, associated with personal power, confidence, and will. 4. Heart, center of the chest, green, air, associated with love, compassion, and relationships. Then we have 5. The throat chakra, throat, blue, sound, associated obviously with communication, expression, truth. 6. The third eye, between the eyebrows, indigo, light, associated with intuition, insight, and wisdom. And then finally, we have the crown chakra at the top of the head, which is violet or white, spirit, and associated with spiritual connection and enlightenment. Okay, so to see a diagram of the seven chakras and their positions relative to our body, please refer to the Reiki chakra diagram in the accompanying material on the website for this show, which will be uploaded later this week once the website's been updated. Okay, well folks, that's your lot for this month's show. As previously mentioned, all of our shows, the scripts and accompanying material, as well as behind the scenes footage, can be found on our website, www.clubmapproductions.org. Our shows can also be found on our YouTube channel at Club Map Productions. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you for next month's show of Reiki, the True Story. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay.